Are you tired of all the dating games, rules, and societal norms that make falling in love confusing and stressful?
Then join us as we ditch the script and empower you to establish healthy, conscious relationships.
This weekly podcast breaks down popular dating reality television and educates you on healthy versus toxic dating habits.
I'm Brianna, a licensed therapist.
And I'm Alex, a trauma-informed and certified narcissist recovery coach.
Are you ready to ditch the script?
Oh my God.
I love it.
Hello.
Hiya.
How art thou?
Oh, thou is thouing. Thou is
Thou
thouing.
is thouing. Thou is thouing in the dopest, thou dopiest way possible.
It's Sunday. I love when
I don't
our
even know
schedules
what you
work to record on Sundays.
Always. It's the best. It's the epitome of a Sunday fun day, bitch.
Are you having fun today?
I'm having so much fun today because I'm looking
cool.
at your face.
Ah, that was cute.
How's Florida keeping you this Memorial Day weekend?
It's good. I mean, the weather has been absolutely garbage, trash, basura,
Way to go,
basura,
Florida.
basura, basura. Yeah, horrible for like the whole week. It's just been raining and thunderstorming and lightning, and Tucker is just literally shaking in his little boots.
Aww.
So, it's not been a great week for getting outside, but for all intents and purposes, I call her my niece, but it's, as you know, my cousin Ariel's, her baby's first birthday
Yeah.
was this week. And so her first birthday party was yesterday. And I didn't tell you that this little girl waited until her actual first birthday to start walking.
Oh my God, that's adorable. So what a magical day you guys had.
Yeah, magical.
She's on
Magical.
the run.
Yeah, she's not running yet, but she will be probably in like a week.
Mobile.
Yeah, when she figures out that crawling right now is still more efficient than walking, but once walking becomes more efficient than crawling, she'll be done crawling, and like
Oh yeah.
Ariel's life is going to change as we know it.
Yeah, totally. You know what I just realized, which is a total left step to this conversation, but this is how my brain works, so just come with me on this journey.
I'm strapped in.
Part of why, little kids, when it's positive reinforcement, when they're like, we make it such a big deal when they take their first step. So of course they're like, oh, I want everyone to react to me that way, so I'm going to get up and try again, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then as we progress in age, we make even the littlest wins not as big, because it's like, well, yeah, you're 8 now, you're 10 now, you're 13 now. I just realized that, like, having this conversation. So like, let's make our wins so obnoxiously amazing, just like our first fucking steps,
Wait, that's so interesting that you say that, because I feel like that gets brought in from my clients as adults to this day, where
all the time.
And you probably have this too, but I have some of my folks that struggle with anxiety, ADHD, and depression. Sometimes it's a cocktail of all three, but sometimes it's just individually some of those. We talk a lot about routine setting, not because I want everyone to have this like strong Virgo placement type of energy. Yeah, but I do believe in the power of like having good routines that feel good to you to rest in, that allows you to be kooky crazy all in between. But so we talk a lot about routine setting, and sometimes we're really talking about basics like brushing teeth and washing face and like, but finding ways to make that enjoyable, feel good, luxurious, and feel fun on a budget. And a lot of my folks are like, but this is just normal people things. It's just what we should be doing as normal people, like regular adults. And I'm like, and yet why are we disregarding the fact that this is actually really hard?
Yeah. Like,
and impressive to do every day.
Yes. It's like, can we make it all? Like, why not make every little life experience as much of a celebration and a party and something to be grateful for as possible? Because it's like, you can absolutely, it's a free will choice that's available to us to not do that. And for what purpose? Like, why not? Like, if we have the opportunity to either take something as monotonous as brushing our teeth or doing the dishes and like make it fun and exciting and enticing or sexy or whatever adjective you want to throw in there, then like, why not? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how is it hurting you? How is it hurting anybody around you to take something that seems so boring and everyday routine and
Mm-hmm.
make it enjoyable? Like,
Mm-hmm.
life, we're only here for so long. So it really benefits us to like make every little celebration as obnoxious as, oh my God, you took two
Yes.
steps. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So like when you do brush your teeth, and yes, maybe you've been doing it by yourself for 30 years and you've been doing so twice a day as you're supposed to, like we should still be able to find that celebratory and like be obnoxious if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. But at least if you could give yourself a pat on the back, it was like count it as a thing that you did.
yeah. Yes. You know, speaking of that, that's actually something that I started doing about a year ago.
Mm.
Was because I'm that person that makes my to-do list like impossibly long. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna be so productive today. I'm putting 10 things on my to-do list, and it's like batch 3 weeks of content, write 15 email blasts, like ridiculous. Like there's not enough time in the day to even like it's Guinness World Book Records type ridiculous.
That
And
sounds
then
overwhelming.
I get mad at myself and like self-punishy when I don't finish everything. And
Right,
I've only
right.
managed to cross like 3 to 5 of the things off the list. And I'm like, I'm a piece of shit. I wasn't productive today. Like, right? All this stuff goes on. So I started about a little over a year ago. I would say like February of last year was when this came up.
Mm,
I had this epiphany where it's like, why the fuck do I hyper focus on the things that I didn't do instead of hyper focusing on the things I did do? And so I made this vow to myself and my partner at the time. I was like, you know what? At the end of my work days, I want you to only let me tell you the things I actually did. Instead of me
nice.
being like, I didn't get this done, I didn't get this done, I didn't get this done. And so now, literally at the end of every day, I'm like, what did I do today? It's like, I did this,
Mm-hmm.
this, this. And what's also been
Mm-hmm.
really helpful for me with that is even the things like paid my tax bill, like that I don't think about, or like went grocery shopping, like
Mm-hmm.
those aren't on my work to-do list, but they are things I accomplished. And so I start to notice when I ask myself, instead of like what didn't I get done, and I reframe and I'm like, what did I produce, those little monotonous things come up, and it's like, wait, I've been so productive today, like as a
Mm-hmm.
human in general.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just, if that helps anybody, what did you do today?
I like that. I like that shift. It's like actually ignore the things that you did not do and only give yourself the opportunity to say out loud to yourself or to someone near you or your dog or your cat or your
Yes.
goldfish and be like,
Or your
I
reflection.
I made one Instagram reel. Was it one full week late? Yes. And I did it. You know?
Hell yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completed 3 treatment plans that were sitting on my to-do list for 1 month. Did I do it? Yes, I did. You bet your
Yeah.
fucking sweet
But
ass I
like,
did.
okay, I'm gonna take what you just shared and we're gonna go back to little baby's first steps yesterday. I was gonna
Hmm.
say her name, but then I also realized like maybe that her family doesn't want her name out on the public
It's
podcasting
okay.
world, so I silenced that. But
Yeah, yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
um, when because like babies walk, there's kind of like a time period where like babies tend to start walking. It's not like at day 12 months on the dot, like you said. In her case, yes, but that's not the case for everybody. And
That's just because
do
she is who
we
she is and she waited for an
exactly?
audience.
But what about the babies like who might start, with when we look at the spectrum of when they start walking, they walk later. Do you hold that over your baby's head when they're like, "Wow, you're a month late walking. About damn time, bitch. Like get on your feet."
Right.
No, you're not like that. You're just like, "Oh my
Yeah.
God, you did it. You finally
Yeah.
did it." So it's like, can we
Yeah.
please mirror the way that we treat other people and like these little babies? Like we need to nurture ourselves in that way,
We are
like
the
you
babies. We are the
we are
babies.
we are the babies. Yes. This is a great conversation. When we were hopping on, we were like, we have no idea, but there were so many little lessons that came out of that
I love
one
it.
little
And
thing.
I'm ready to transition to Queer Ultimatum because I'm going to be totally honest. I have so many notes.
Oh my God. Okay, really? I'm excited.
I I have a
This is so exciting.
I do want to say I like this show better than the first Ultimatum already.
Me, me too. The first
Yeah.
ultimatum, oh my God.
It was hard to take seriously.
It just was like, yeah, it's good point. Yeah, it was hard to take seriously. There is a part of me that's like hard to take this seriously just because of the show, but I think that there are people here approaching this with way more intent than on straight Ultimatum. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
For
I
me, that's
agree.
what it feels like. That's what it
And
seems like.
you know what it kind of is too, is a lot of the folks that are on the show, this show, is there some of them are a lot older.
True. Yes, we have a
The
wide
other
range here.
the other group was
Yeah.
like 24 to 27 exclusively.
Yeah.
This one,
Yeah.
I mean, our youngest is 23 or 24, and it ranges, and Aussie's the oldest. Aussie is 42.
Okay, cool. I didn't know who
Yeah,
was the oldest, so I'm glad you clarified because
it's
yeah, I was
Aussie.
trying to figure that out. Okay, cool. Awesome. Awesome, Aussie. Love it.
Awesome
Okay.
Aussie. I do
Okay,
love Aussie. Okay,
me too.
yes.
I think she's dope. I want to be her friend. I want to have, honestly, there's so many people on this show that I really enjoy just as humans and would love
Yep.
to have a conversation with.
Yep.
Which I
And
can't say for first season.
we're gonna do a quick pronoun check because pronouns is something that we had to look into because the show on Netflix did not give us anyone's pronouns, which is really fucking annoying. Actually makes it
Like,
very difficult to know how to refer to everyone.
isn't that like 101? Like, isn't that 101, you guys? Like, Netflix,
It's
lead by fucking example. Come on
it
now. What the
it
fuck?
should it hasn't been 101. It needs to be 101 now. So I it's so like yeah, it's annoying. So just a reminder, Aussie doesn't have any preferred pronouns. There are no she,
No,
her, they. So
she
it's
is
just
Aussie.
Aussie. It's just Aussie.
She's a vibe.
Not she. Just Aussie.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I literally, you guys, before we hit record, I told Brie, I was like, I'm gonna fuck this up so much, and I am sorry in advance. And then I did it within the first 15 minutes of the show.
And this is
I'm
our
sorry.
this is how that's okay. This is us learning. I'm probably gonna mess up too. So
Aussie
speaking
is a vibe. Aussie is
Aussie's a vibe.
Aussie.
Hey, there you go. So this is we're gonna do a quick introduction to the couples as they enter the show, and we're gonna run through their pronouns. We looked up we had to dig in to find what their pronouns are, which is so frustrating that we had to do that much work. They should just have it on the
For
show, but
real.
they didn't. But we did find it. So Mildred and Tiff. Mildred goes by she, her. Tiff goes by they, them. Lexi and Ray. Lexi goes by she, her. Ray also goes by she, her. Vanessa and Xander. Vanessa goes by she, her. Xander goes by she, her, and they. Sam and Aussie. Sam goes by she, her. Aussie does not use any pronouns. Aussie is just Aussie. Awesome Aussie. And then we have Mal and Yoli. Mal goes by she, her, and they. And Yoli goes by she, her. So that's our list. We're going to screw up. We're going to make our best efforts to not screw up. But if we do, we're going to correct ourselves. We're going to keep it moving. And we encourage people to do the same as you're like taking in the show, talking about the show with
I
other
already
people.
boofed it, so
Yeah, we're going
you
to
know.
boof it. It's okay. We're learning. Okay. And then the other thing that we wanted to call out, because obviously we're gonna get into the couples and we're gonna talk about them meeting and we're gonna talk about where they're
Yeah.
at and then how they're dating each other, and we have a lot of thoughts and a lot of things to say. But we also are Alex and I both wanted to acknowledge that Joanna
Joanna Swisher, yeah.
Joanna Garcia
Joanna.
Swisher, not a queer person.
No.
Doesn't really make any sense to either of us that she's not a queer person like hosting this
a
show.
show.
Period.
Not okay. Netflix could have done so much better. Like, so much better. They have a huge pool of people that guaranteed someone in there. Like, what
And
the fuck?
no disrespect, but like
Joanna
where
Swisher?
yeah, where like where did she come from?
Sweet
I want to respect
Magnolias and Once Upon a Time.
I want
That's
to
all I know
respect
her
her hustle from like in another lane. Joanna Garcia Swisher,
Yes.
you've worked hard
Like,
for the roles
you've
that
done
you've gotten.
things.
You've
Yes.
done things.
You've
And
made money to be on TV.
this did not need to be your job. This needs to be
No.
someone else's job.
I don't even like shoulds. I hate shoulds, but I really think she shouldn't be the host of a show, especially like it's the first like, it's the first queer ultimatum, and we're gonna have a straight white host.
Woman.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
Cisgendered
Like,
woman. Doesn't make
exactly.
any
Like,
sense.
what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And again, like I was really grateful that we don't have the Lachey's. I really hope that that's their exit. Like I hope
Agreed.
they're done.
I don't think that's the case, but I agree. Like, fuck, dude. Yeah, I'm okay, look. Joe Swisher is a step away from the Lachey's, which is on the right trajectory, but I just really feel that Netflix could be making such a huge statement in support for this community, and they're like not nailing it, and they really could have
Mm-hmm.
nailed it. Like, they have the resources to nail it and really lead by example in comparison to
Mm-hmm.
other streaming
Mm-hmm.
platforms that have their own dating shows, that like they really could have done it and been like, look at us, and like, look
Mm-hmm.
at how we're supporting this community. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that. And
Mm-hmm.
it bothers me. It bothers me that it's not that. It's like, shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
that be the reason you're doing this? Or are you just trying to like appease to another demographic, which is like really
Yeah.
shitty to have to own. But like, I'm not doing this show to talk about cute pleasantries. I really want to like cause conversations to happen that need to happen.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is one of them.
Give us everyone's fucking pronouns. Give us a queer host. It's not that
Yes.
hard to include any of those things. And if you piss people off, good. You've pissed off the right people.
Yes.
Like, go forward.
For the greater
forward.
good, by the way. For the greater fucking good. Like, if we're ever gonna piss someone off, it might as well be in the name of the greater good. Yeah? Like, isn't that why we band together? Like, come on, y'all. Sorry. Okay, so Netflix, check yourself. Can we talk about the cuties now?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the cuties. Alex really wants to talk about who we're both like
Yeah,
if we're
I
at
want
a
to know
bar.
who you think is cute.
Oh, I already know. Mal is like everything.
Me
to
too!
me.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's so hot. I love her.
Yeah, Mal's
They. She and they.
Well, you can use either of them. That's okay.
I know.
You're like,
I feel like I need to use all of them. I feel
You
like I
don't
need to
need
use all of them
you-
to like
you can-
make sure that I remember what they are. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. So Mal's swagger is
For real.
really
Yeah.
strong. I just like, I think that they're a vibe. I think that how they style themselves is a vibe. I also love their like
Agreed.
their quiet confidence.
Agreed. Yeah.
You know, like it's cool.
Yeah, she's super like conscious, and I love the conversations that she's having with the people she's dating.
And we're going to
Yeah.
get into it, but it feels very clear to me as she's talking and even dating some of the other people why she's showing up on the show, like why she's arrived at the ultimatum
Yeah.
with her partner, and like why she would be open to dating other people. Like that felt very clear to me, whereas I feel like some of the other partners that were issued the ultimatum in the similar position that Mal was is not taking the opportunity from the same place.
No.
Okay. I don't think that I would have been attracted to this person off the rip, but I do just need to call out that Aussie is like my favorite person, one of my favorite people.
I love that. Yeah.
Aussie, Lexi. Lexi's a fucking vibe.
You like Lexi too.
Yeah, again, I'm not attracted to like super femme presenting people. I think that that's what I've figured out just in my own awareness is
Same.
like
Yeah.
time and space has moved on. But so she's not someone that I'm super attracted to. I respect her a lot.
Yeah.
That makes me a little bit attracted to her.
Which is cool. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. Yeah, Aussie's dope. I love that Aussie's super self-aware. Like, she's just like, see?
Aussie.
It happened again.
Yep.
Aussie is just so asking the right questions. And
Yeah.
I'm really stoked to see how Aussie goes.
Aussie,
How she
Aussie
goes.
Yeah, Aussie
Oh.
is I like Aussie's communication with their partner, Sam,
Agreed.
a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, 100.
We don't get a
Yeah.
lot of Sam and Aussie together over the next 2 episodes, but we'll talk about what we see. Okay, wait, who else were you feeling?
I think Xander's super cute too.
Yeah.
At first, yeah, yeah. They look a little young in certain angles, like
Mm-hmm.
baby face, but I
Mm-hmm.
still think they're super cute. Yeah.
Also, like,
Yeah.
very sweet.
Xander,
Xander has a
yeah,
very sweet and warm
nurturing.
presence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And but same, I'm like super. I kind of started realizing that a while ago that I like mask
Yeah,
girls.
you're more into like a mask presentation.
Yeah.
Um, I think also, um, Ray. Ray's hot. Yeah, Ray's
Oh,
hot. I
okay.
fear Ray doesn't think very highly of herself.
Mm, okay.
Um, but man, she's really cute in the face. And I also like how like she's not giving quiet confidence because she's not giving confidence, but she's giving quiet disposition. I'm gonna sit back here, and I do tend to like that in
Ooh,
people. Yeah, because I take
okay.
up a lot of space, so I
Yeah.
like when someone else is a
Come
little bit more
hither.
chilled. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Draws me in a
Gotcha.
little.
Ooh. Mm.
So
Any girl would be lucky to draw you in.
we're gonna learn more about the group, the gang.
Yeah, the gang.
Okay. We're gonna learn more about the group. Obviously, there's some
Alex is gonna remember to
blaring
call Aussie Aussie.
Aussie, Aussie. It's challenging, but it's a challenge worth sitting through to get it
Yep.
right. I think that's like the thing about pronouns is like, yeah, it can be challenging to adapt to if this is not something that's familiar in your way of talking about people, referring to people that like don't abide by the like gender binary. And I hear all the time people are like, it's just so hard. Like they is plural. And I'm like, figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Like honestly,
Yeah.
you know what I'm doing these days? I'm like,
What?
grow up. Grow up.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, come. Oh, it's hard. Yeah, you want to know what else is hard? Doing your taxes, but you fucking do it every year. Like, come
Yeah,
on now.
I do.
Like,
I think the experience of
it's
getting
way harder
misgendered,
than trying to figure that out.
and the experience of being misgendered is probably a lot harder than me figuring out how to use they in a singular way or
Yeah,
using
I have a
Aussie. You know what I
client
mean?
who's been misgendered and she ain't stoked about it. And
Yeah,
she has not been called that and is like, how do I
it's
handle
hard.
that situation? It is
Yeah,
hard. So, yeah, failing forward. I mean, look at me. But it's necessary out of respect, you know?
right, right. Figure it out, get it together, keep it moving, press onward. So we're gonna meet the couples. We're meeting the couples. Um,
Yeah.
Mildred and Tiff
Yes.
are a couple.
They are indeed.
I have like I honestly like have a well-rounded full scope of what I think who they are as they show up in the show and what their issues are, but I kind of want to hold myself back unless you're like go for it.
Go for it.
Okay. Okay. She
I
gave
have
me the
notes
green
on
light.
these too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Green.
I think so. I think Mildred really wants commitment, really wants to get married. Tiff's original complaint was like, um, they break up a lot. Their communication is terrible. So originally I'm like, okay, Mildred wants to get married. Tiff doesn't feel good about it because the way that they communicate sucks. So I'm already thinking like, oh, so this is because of Mildred's issues with communicating. I've figured out, or I think I'm learning, it's Tiff's communication that sucks. And what Mildred starts to figure out after they like have their final night and their final morning and they start dating other people is Mildred's connecting with a lot of other people, a lot more emotionally available people and maybe more emotionally intelligent people. And Mildred is finding, oh my God, I have the ability to connect and communicate with a lot of different people. And we're not necessarily seeing Mildred romantically connect with the others. We just see her opening up as a human and feel validated and connected with by other people in this setting. And what I notice, I wonder if you notice this, but when they like sort of reconnected, Mildred and Tiff, and start talking, Tiff,
Cringiest moment of the whole
oh my God,
episode.
Tiff is noticing that Mildred is sort of pulling away and saying like, we're not connecting. We haven't been connected. I'm realizing how disconnected we are, and I'm connecting with other people. And Tiff is feeling threatened. And what I'm realizing is part of their pattern is that when Tiff feels threatened, Tiff uses their sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Tiff uses their own personal sexuality and their sexual chemistry, which when we really look at it objectively, you guys, like it's
Love
coercive as
bombing.
fuck.
It's
Yeah.
sex bombing. Yeah.
It's sex bombing. It's coercive as fuck. And I get it. Like I can appreciate that there's a lens of I just want to feel close to this person right now because I'm scared I'm going to lose them. I just want to feel close to them and this is how I know how I can feel close to them. But it really makes it hard for someone in Mildred's position to mobilize and think outside of their experience because boom, they're back in the cycle of like sex endorphins and happy chemicals and then feeling close to someone and then pulling away and realizing we actually haven't gotten anywhere on any of our bullshit.
No.
And so I think what's probably going to end up happening is I don't even know that Mildred's going to find another person, but I do think that Mildred's going to learn in this experience that um like she would be better served opening herself up to connecting with people outside of Tiff. They would need hard boundaries, no contact.
Yes. 100.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I said a lot.
No, don't apologize because everything you said I had written down. Like it's spot
Perfect.
on. All of it's spot on. Complete agreement. Yeah, it's not okay. It really I cringed. I cringed and made noises. I was like, "No, oh god, don't do that." It was really bad.
What did Tiff say? They were like, "Do you feel
Are we
close to me
connecting
now?"
now?
Yeah. Ugh,
Just like that.
don't. That's and also like you could tell that Mildred was like
No, no,
having
no,
a
no,
really hard time
no.
with that. Like she wanted to connect with her and kiss her because
Loves
she
her.
wanted to connect with Tiff because she loves them and she's attracted to them. But like also Mildred's trying to figure this out. Like Tiff, you got to give them you got to give her some space, dude. Like give her some space, please.
Yeah. Yeah. It isn't okay. And so when Tiff brought up their past of breaking up, getting back together, my alarm bells went off. I'm like, okay, pattern. And now this show is just gonna induce this pattern times 10. And then all of the big sex, I really like you're absolutely right. Tiff is emotionally unavailable and they use sex as their means to emotionally communicate and connect because the vulnerability of expressing themselves, as we see later when they're talking to Sam, Aussie's partner,
Mm-hmm.
we see Tiff struggle and shut themselves down. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
crying like a little bitch. They shame themselves for
Mm-hmm.
experiencing that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that to me was like, okay, this explains the pattern, the entirety of
Mm-hmm.
the pattern here.
Mm-hmm.
Um I do think it's amazing Tiff was able to experience themselves cry with somebody and have that
Mm-hmm.
vulnerability. And I
Mm-hmm.
wish and hope that they, through this experiment, learn to embrace that more because that is the missing sauce for them in their
Yeah.
successful relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't have much else on them as like the
Agreed.
two episodes go. So we
Same.
can just
That was the biggest thing. Next.
okay.
Thank you.
We
Next,
can't.
next,
I
thank
think
you.
we gotta section Lexi, Ray, and Vanessa and Xander for a little bit
Sure.
later. Let's talk about Sam and Aussie.
Okay.
Um,
I
it's very
like
clear.
them, so I
I like
don't
them.
like this show for them. I'm like, just stay together. You guys are adorable.
I agree. I don't think that this is a good show for them. Or it will end up being a great show for them in that they like. I
They
kind of
get
hope that they
married.
do with that like that other couple, Hunter and what's her face, end up doing. You remember them? That like on the choice day, they just decided that
I
they
just
wanted to stay
remember
together.
April and Colby. Those are the only two I remember from that show. I remember Colby
Okay,
gets married to the blonde lady, but I don't even remember her name. I just remember she's blonde.
Colby gets married to Maddie Madison,
That's
the
her.
like
Yeah.
like the one that he showed up with.
Hunter and Ray? Wasn't Hunter
No, there was a
April's
Ray.
ex? There was a
No,
Ray.
no. There was a Ray.
I'm
Okay,
gonna shut
the
up.
first no, you're doing great. The first season there was a guy that you were like, I think he's cool. He's really nice. He seems like he's a good dude. And the girl, she was like super blonde, very sort of like
Oh, the one
materialistic.
that I didn't want him to marry her because she is crazy and he deserved better. That one.
And
I do
so
remember him. He was a gentle
they dated.
giant.
He was a gentle giant. They dated the other people for a week. She was rejected by Colby, and I think that was the only
Yeah, and
person
she
she was
lost
interested
her
in.
shit.
And then the
Yeah.
two of them chose each other, and then they got engaged and they got married.
Right. So that's what you're hoping happens with Sam and Aussie. Gotcha.
That's what I hope happens with
Me
Sam and
too.
Aussie.
I think
Okay,
they're
well,
healthier than that other couple, than Hunter
we
and
could even
Alexis.
see it just from their last day and morning together. Like
Yes. Agreed.
their communication is wide open. They're really comfortable. They use humor, but in an avoidant,
Toxic
defensive.
way.
Yeah, they
Or
use humor.
sarcastic, shamey way. Yeah.
Right. They use humor to just like see themselves diving in.
Yeah.
And they give each other a lot of room to be where they are in their feelings about the experience. The reason why they're there is Sam's like, Aussie, I want to marry you. And Aussie's like, I don't know if I
I
want
want that.
marriage. Yeah, I don't know if I want that. But the two of them seem like such a good fit.
They
I
really do.
cannot actually see them with any other person.
Same. Yeah. Yeah. I think, and based off of what Aussie shared with Mildred, it sounds like Aussie is realizing that slowly
Yeah,
but surely that they do
right.
want.
I want to talk about that because when I heard that from Aussie, Aussie's saying, I think what I'm realizing is that I actually want marriage. And I wonder how Mildred was receiving that at the time. And I think Mildred was feeling validated that, like, there's other people here that want marriage, that want the same things that I do. And wow, I'm connecting with someone. So at first I was like, oh my God, they're just like really tight and they're really supporting each other in this moment as Aussie's discovering this about themselves and Mildred is like finding that she's able to just connect. And then I was like, wait a minute, does Mildred like Aussie? Is that what's happening here? And then I kind
I
of
can't
like put,
tell.
I can't tell,
Yeah.
but I kind of put it out of my mind. And I think, again, I think it just opened up the opportunity for Mildred to be like, I can connect with others, period.
Yeah.
And Aussie is like, I think I want marriage. And I think what I've decided I've learned that I'm looking for out of marriage is, or what I like about it, is the idea of building a life with another person.
Yeah.
And they didn't say this because I think that the show's probably editing this on purpose. But what I really hope is that this means that Aussie sees building a life with Sam more than anything and that they just like choose each other in this next episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm hoping that for them too. I can't wait to watch and see.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, yeah. I really enjoy listening to Aussie process in that whole conversation because
Yeah.
or sorry, Aussie goes into um Aussie goes into Aussie's journey of coming out and that
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
And Aussie then goes into questioning, do I identify as male, female, something in between? And, so therefore am I trans? And
Right.
they are very honest about what's just coming up in
Yeah.
Aussie's mind.
Yeah.
And I just loved being there in that moment with Aussie
Yeah. Yeah.
because
And I think,
I as someone who hasn't had any of that kind of processing come up,
mm,
I can only imagine what that's like. And
mm-hmm,
so I love that that Aussie was open to having that in such a vulnerable space with someone she doesn't know very well.
mm-hmm.
Or
I
sorry,
wish,
that Aussie
I,
doesn't know very well.
I wish that we got more. I think
Same.
that I bet that there was a lot more in. We're not getting a lot of Aussie in these first two episodes because
No.
Aussie is not a
Conscious
typical.
relationship conversation.
Yeah, like the
Aussie's too
conscious relation.
healthy.
Aussie's too healthy. Aussie is too healthy, and therefore Aussie's story is getting kind of muted, which is personally frustrating to me because I really want to know more about Aussie, and I want to know more about Sam, and I want to know more about their relationship. I want to know more about their connection. I want to know more about what's important to them, and we're just not going to get that. So
No.
yeah, it's a little frustrating.
And again, this is my issue with Netflix is these are the conversations that need to be heard and listened and explored to normalize and to make it a safe space to have
Yeah.
them. And
It,
again, could lead by example and you're editing out the good shit.
I
Okay,
know. I
cool.
think it's funny because I I have this little like second voice in my head that crops up to say, or in a satirical way, like, but it just wouldn't make good television. And I'm checking that thought because the thing is like we don't know if it would make good television or not because like they won't give us the opportunity to find out.
No. And I would if I was a gambling gal, I would put my money on it would make great television because no one else is fucking doing it. No one
Mm,
else is doing it. So it would be so unique and it would be again people like myself, like I just said, I don't know. I don't know anything. Like I'm outside of this community. And so isn't it a good learning experience for me to be able to hear and see and witness and listen? Like
mm,
and they're robbing me of the depth of that with this medium.
mm,
Is that
hmm.
selfish? Like I'm one person, but I kind of am just like, this is an opportunity for people who like I have friends who are gay and identify as queer, so I can have these conversations with them. But what about for someone who doesn't live in an area where that, you know what I
Totally.
mean? Like,
Totally. Yeah,
I'm inserting
I see what you're
myself in this
saying.
example, but like when you think about the global platform that Netflix is, like I really think that I'm over here being like a fucking activist, but like there's a call to action to actually allow these conversations to happen.
Yeah, and instead of just putting it back into the familiar trope of like
Yeah.
catchy zany reality television that's got to be like toxic
Yeah.
as hell. Yeah, it's not good.
Exactly.
It's not good for any stereotype of any type of group. Certainly not this group. So I feel yeah, I think there's definitely room for improvement here. And I'm curious to see what comes of it. There's some things that we're seeing that feels like trends towards progress that has nothing to do with the show and has everything to do with some of the players on the show. Like Lexi, for instance, is someone who I find to be like
Yeah.
really has her head on her shoulders,
Mhm.
and listening to her process out loud was has been super fascinating so far. And because Lexi's sort of a big player in being someone who's desired by multiple other people on the show and who is desiring and dating other people on the show, and has therefore she kind of has a big storyline, so she gets a lot of airtime in these first two episodes. And the thing is like we're hearing a lot of her processing. I appreciate hearing her processing because she is someone who I think is also a healthy individual. And so
Agreed.
I'm curious, will the show give us more of what you and I are looking for, which is like healthier, conscious conversations? But
And
is it going to have
honest
nothing to do with
conversations.
Netflix? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, okay, let's talk about Mal and Yoli. Now, Mal is here because Mal and Yoli are here
And so
because
hot.
they honestly they're a hot couple.
They
I find them
are.
to be a good aesthetic match and
Agreed.
like vibes.
Yeah.
But I understand what Mal's complaint is. So Yoli is the one who issued the ultimatum for Mal. And Yoli's like, I want to marry Mal. I think I found my person in Mal. I could see us being together. They met in this really cute way. Yoli was working at Barney's. Mal was looking for a discount, but obviously was just trying to flirt. Honestly, if Mal flirted me while I was working, I'd be like, where are we going? Where are
Yeah.
you taking me? Where do you live? Like, can I see the inside of your home? Where
Netflix
should
and
we go
chill.
next? Yeah,
You're
exactly.
funny. You're cute.
So, but so anyway, I like I understand their like riz. I understand their banter. I understand their whole thing. But I think what Mal's cognitive awareness is like they've known, I think that they have some insecurities and they've known
Mm,
Yoli to connect with a lot of people. And so I
mm,
think that they're worried that Yoli, even it seems like they have a lot of respect for their partner. They have a lot of respect for Yoli. They love Yoli. They just want to make sure that Yoli is choosing Mal because of who Mal is instead of because Mal is right in front of her at this
right.
time.
Okay. Yeah.
That's like their whole thing. At least that's how
Yeah.
it's being described.
Agreed. Yeah. Um, yeah. And so we see Yoli end up connecting with Xander, and Mal ends up connecting with Lexi, which
Yeah.
also would be a badass match.
Yes.
Those two together would be a power couple because of how conscious they are
Mal
and
also noticed,
grounded.
like they kind of called it out. They were like we're both kind of assertive, dominating,
Mm,
you know.
yeah. Which, that might, I mean, I don't ever like to say like that could be troublesome, but they might need to navigate that. Like,
Like energy clashing.
yeah. Or just like, when like what is the dynamic that brings out their dominance? Because I think like maybe they have dominant energy that shows up in different ways depending on the environment they're in or the stimulus of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like getting curious about like that ebb and flow. But yeah, dude, I'm real stoked to hear who Lexi chooses.
I know. Okay, so speaking of Lexi, we have Lexi and Ray. Lexi and Ray collectively are like pretty a little bit younger than the rest of the group. They're the youngest. Um, Lexi is the one who issued the ultimatum, and she is like, "I love Ray. We've been together for 3 years. Like,
Let's
I want to
go.
do this." And Lexi clearly, I wonder what has happened in her life that has put her in the position in which she is such a driver, you
Yeah,
know?
let's get married at
Um
24.
and well, but it seems to be on target with all of the other goals that she has set for herself in her life. So I'm just curious what's relevant in Lexi's overall history that has put her in such like a mature place of I drive everything in my world for a very long time. I have my shit together vibe. Because that's not
Mm,
usual for a 24-year-old at the like in this day and age, in this time.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So just curious. I don't know if we'll ever learn
Curious.
anything about that, but I'm curious
Yeah.
about it. And I think the reason why I mention that as context is because it seems to come up a lot as Lexi is dating other people and then the feedback that she gives back to Ray when they reconnect. And what seems like is happening is Lexi's like, I'm trying to connect and I'm looking for something that like it helps me move forward in my life the way that I'm looking for in the way that I feel that I deserve. She gets stuck a little bit with Miss Vanessa. And
Yeah.
I think she gets kind of tantalized by the idea of flirting with someone new and someone who she's attracted to and someone who's fun. And we'll talk more about it, but she quickly sort of like spins around on that, changes
Yeah.
her mind. And as she's connecting to Mal, I think Mal, in talking to Mal, Mal validates for Lexi that Lexi deserves the whole cake,
Yeah.
not just crumbs. And when she goes back to Ray, Ray is like, I don't know. Like, I wonder if I'm ever going to be able to give you everything that you need.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think we should talk about that a little bit more about
Let's
Ray
talk
and
about it.
Lexi's conversation.
Yeah.
Cause so what and I want to make sure that I explain this correctly. So if I'm not doing a good job, please chime in.
Yeah.
Um, so Lexi is a very bubbly, assertive, like powerhouse of a human personality.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray also has a very quiet confidence to her, but not like you said before, like it's not confidence. It's more like I don't know how to describe it. It's like an anchored energy. It's a grounded energy, but
Grounded for sure.
it's not assertive. It's not like this is who I am and what I want, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so because of that, mismatch, or I guess if we're going to use that word, but Ray starts to express like, I feel like you have so much to give, and I feel like I am not going to be able to fill that like entire well of like what you're looking for from me, because
Mm,
I'm not perfect, and I don't know if like you're going to be able to basically accept me for me and what I can give you, is
right.
like what Ray was trying to express. And I thought, and you could tell that when Ray was communicating this to Lexi, it made her emotional. Like there was clearly some kind of guilt or shame or just sadness, even of like having that realization kind of dawn on her, especially in this setting. And
Mm,
especially coming off of a high, because Ray also connects with Vanessa. Um, and like having that experience of like this bubbly, like surface level, oh my gosh, so exciting to have to look the woman who just gave you the ultimatum of like, are you going to marry me or not? And have to kind of realize like, oh my God, like this was easy and breezy, surface level flirtation with Vanessa. And then I look at this woman that I've been with for 3 years and I don't know if I'll ever be enough. You know what I mean?
right. Hmm.
And I wonder how often like people in general feel this way
Mm.
in partnership. What?
I think it happens a lot.
And yeah, and so it's like, can we talk about that, and like how do we navigate that if we are feeling that, and how do
Mm,
we, because I think that what Ray is feeling isn't, like you said, not, it's not that it's not common, double negative, right? It's a very
hmm.
common way to feel that way. So what do we do about it when it, if or when it does come up? Because I
Mm,
think that this is something that can happen inside long-term partnership, where it's not necessarily like gonna mean the relationship is a failure or like needs to end. It's just
totally.
this ebb and flow of life and what capacity we're at to give and receive.
Well, and there's a barrier, right? There's a personal barrier of the assessment of what does my partner need from me and how
Mm,
limited do I see myself in providing
right.
those needs. Because I think what would be really important, if I am the person who feels that I am never going to be good enough for my partner, who I just think is the absolute tits, and I think is like everything and a total fucking catch and the whole package, and I don't see myself that way, and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god, there, I'm good. My view, whatever it is that I feel like are my shortcomings, is going to equal up to, oh my god, I'm just going to constantly disappoint this person, and I have so much respect for this person. I don't want to disappoint them. I want them to get their needs met. I want them to go be with someone and find someone that could be everything for them. And I feel like I'm holding them back, but I don't want them to go away. I just feel like I'm holding them back. Right. When, if I'm the person that feels that way about my partner, I need to first assess how much of this is my own garbage. And I don't mean to put it this way in this like negative thing. It's like, it's there for a reason. But how much of this is my own stuff that I'm carrying that creates this lens of, you are better than me and I will never be good enough for you, and therefore I'm never going to
Yeah.
be able to live up to any expectations that I'm actually projecting onto you. You didn't tell me that those are your expectations. I told you that those were your expectations for me, and I'm used to letting people down. I see myself as a person who lets other people down, so I automatically assume that you are no different and I will let you down as well.
Yeah. It's like you self DQ.
Yes, exactly. You self
It's
disqualify.
really, yeah, it's like what, like, oh my God. Yeah, that's really all. I just wanted to unpack it a little bit because I do feel, I have felt that way before. I have put previous partners on pedestals where it's like, oh my God, you're so great. And like, why would you choose me? And what, it's just such, one, like for myself it's not a fun energy to be in, but two, the amount of pressure that puts on the relationship, and three, I push my partner away because now I'm not open to receiving because I don't trust
Mm-hmm.
the that what they're telling me is truth.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, it's not a fun place to be in. Go
I'm going to
ahead.
be honest, I feel I've been in the position of the person who is being looked at as, I'm going to disappoint you, and like
Mm,
I'm never going to be everything that you need. I've been that
yeah,
person
it's
a
not
number of
fair.
times. It's not fair because from that perspective, the perspective of You keep telling me that you're going to disappoint me, but the only thing that's disappointing me is this fucking conversation we keep having. That's what's
I know.
disappointing me. Like,
Yeah.
like I think what I want people who feel like the deficit, like they're holding the deficit, what I want them to understand is like your partner who you see the world in sees the world in you too. They see
Mm,
everything in
yeah.
you, and they see you as a person who tries to show up, and like that they just love. That they love already as you are. The thing that really gets them down is that you continue to put yourself down as this person that can never be enough, and it's really fucking irritating because it's your shit. It's not mine, but you're looking to me being like, I can't be enough for you. And I'm like, you're literally getting in your own way. So I need you to figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
I would not recommend talking to your partner that way.
No.
But that's how it feels over here.
I know. I can only imagine. Like, first of all, go off too. Everybody save this. Just replay that when you need to pump up. You've already been chosen. Like they already chose
Yes.
you. Like they're already with you. So don't try and like make them continue to choose you as a demonstration for your own reassurance. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's such an anxious attachment wound. Like for those of you identifying, because like and I had to heal that. Like and I love
Mm,
that I'm not dating from a place like that right now. But like
mm,
fuck, like
mm-hmm.
I wanted to have the conversation because I felt for Ray. Like I get those feelings
Yeah.
coming up. And y'all, like, no, you're worthy. You've already been chosen. Hard part's done. Now just be vulnerable and honest with like how this is what I'm noticing. How can I make this? How can I fill up your well even more? Like make it a
Yeah.
constructive conversation instead of a self-deprecating I'm not good enough conversation. Yeah.
And I think in practice, what that looks like, so I just want to be able to provide a little bit of like, what do we do with that? Is when you're opening these conversations, when you're having these conversations with your partner, and your partner is like, look at all of the ways that I already love you, and like you are enough. You
Mm.
really have to practice hearing that and excusing the little voice in your head that says that's not true and they're just lying to me, and inviting that to just be still for a moment. That you're not going to ask them to totally leave the room because that's not going to be accessible or achievable in that moment, but
Have
you're
a lie
making,
down.
yeah, just have it. Yeah. I like to tell that voice like I'm like respectfully asking you to leave the room in this moment, to make space to just hear and trust that the person that is in front of you saying like, you're enough, I already love you as you are, like you do all of these things for me, with me, to me, good for me, and just practice hearing it. And then honestly, babe, you're going to have to start telling yourself it, because you
Yep,
can't rely on that
exactly.
partner all of the time.
Nope. 100.
Yeah, we hope that
Oh
was
man.
useful.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Who are we talking
okay.
about next?
You know who we're going to talk about next. You
Vanessa
know
and
it.
Xander.
I know it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bitch is crazy.
Vanessa is someone who, I'm going to be totally honest, I was working very hard to give the benefit of the doubt
Same.
for the entire first episode.
Yep.
I'm talking hard work over here.
Yeah. From the beginning, like red flag, red flag, red. Just interesting language choice, and then I was like, okay, wait.
Because even like the energy about her. So, like, okay, just a little bit of context. What we know
Back up.
about the two of them is they met in high school. They were dating. They were dating each other. Sorry, they were each dating their respective boyfriends, and then eventually those relationships ended, and they started dating each other, and they've been together for 4 years. And um, Vanessa wants nothing to do with stability. Really, like you said, really interesting language. I think that she said she was like turned off by permanency and stability because it does not equal freedom to her, which I thought was really interesting. I was like, okay, there's some very, very clear wounds here. And
Yeah.
I wonder what and it's okay if she decides that her life is living like a romantic vagabond. That's okay. But
Yeah.
do not be in committed relationships with people,
No.
period.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, be poly. Like just don't and not even then, like ENM. Like
Yeah,
it's not even
honestly,
that. It's like
no,
just fuck around.
be non-monogamous in the freest,
Yeah.
least attached way you possibly can. Be
Yeah,
clear with people
exactly.
about that and do your thing, girl. But whatever she's at first I was like, okay, so she brought Xander onto the show because Xander gave the ultimatum. Xander's like, I love you. I don't see myself connecting with anyone better than the way that I connect
I
with
don't
you.
really want
I
to
love
look
you.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to look for it. And so initially, where I was giving Vanessa the benefit of the doubt, I was like, okay, so Vanessa's partner is so in love with her that she wants Xander to be able to be open to seeing that Xander can connect with other people. I really thought that that's what was happening. I was like, Vanessa's so open to connect with others. Great, no problem.
Way too open, in my opinion. She like
Yeah,
gives no fucks about Xander. She's like, I'm hot. I'm gonna date you, you, you,
totally.
you, you, you.
It was giving zero respect for partner, entering
Yeah.
partner. And but then I was like, okay, I maybe they have a little bit of a an ethical non-monogamous situation happening, which was not disclosed. It was again, I was just working very hard. And then we see like I really believed, I was like, okay, they just want Xander to be able to see that they can connect. And then Xander started connecting and Miss Vanessa did not like that. Did not like
No.
Xander connecting
No. Um the other conversation comes first though. Can we
Oh
back up
yeah.
to what she
Yeah.
ends up saying? So
Hmm.
Lexi connects with I'm sorry, Vanessa connects with Lexi and who's the other chick's name? Ray,
Everyone
obviously, the two
else.
girls.
Everyone in the
Yeah,
whole
everybody
world.
else. Well, okay, so let's go. Here's where I really was like, I'm sniffing your fucking trail, okay? She
Hmm.
mirrored everybody. And the way that they
Yes.
edited it was so, if anyone wants, because, like, obviously, y'all, I talk about mirroring and how, like, sneaky it can be to catch with love bombing with narky people. She
Yeah.
does a really good job of exactly that because every single person, it's like, oh my God, me too. Oh my God, that's what I was going to say. Oh my God. It's like, whoa, like, and I love, there was a part of me that loved the way they edited that just because there was no mistaking it. It was just like
Yeah.
mirroring. So that's when I really was like, I'm on to you.
Yes.
So yeah, and so then she goes on to go on a date with Lexi. They connect, obviously she is love bombing her by being like, you're gorgeous, do you want to sit on my face? Like it, the thing that, and I want to say this is like, love bombing, I know I joke with sex bombing and like calling it that, but a version of love bombing is sexual commentary really quickly.
Yeah.
Because again, since sex is an intimate thing, when someone is bringing that up super quickly and like kind of constantly, it's trying to establish that false sense of like we can already talk about this, like we're so close, and it's like
Mm.
no, though, like I met you 5 minutes ago. So
Hmm.
she's talking about having Lexi sit on her face, do all this stuff, and it's just like okay. She connects with Ray as well, Lexi's ex. Then it goes on to where after she kind of goes on 2 dates with both of these people, we see her on a date with Lexi, and she has this slip where Vanessa starts telling Lexi, I didn't think Xander would connect with anybody here, yet I'm beautiful, so of course I would connect. Like she literally says that.
Hmm.
And it just goes all downhill from there with Vanessa basically trying to explain like she's not taking this seriously like a marriage. She gags at the thought of stability. She's looking at this like I'm excited to live with someone I haven't lived with before, but like other than that, like that's it for me and I don't and then she didn't understand why Lexi was upset to hear that. So then it
Right.
gets a little gaslighty in a way.
Hmm.
Um and yeah, and so now when we get full swing to the next conversation where Vanessa ends up sitting Xander down for a chat and Xander says I am connecting with someone, she starts to freak out because now what we just heard her disclose to Lexi, meaning I didn't think Xander would connect with anyone because I'm
Right.
the hot one of the couple,
Right.
is kind of like how it sounded,
Which is
which I'm like
a shitty and
disagree.
weird way.
I
Yeah, I
also
also.
disagree.
Hmm.
Yeah, Xander's super cute.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, she starts to freak out and very much becomes the victim here and is like, you can't be in a relationship with her. I won't even talk to you if you're in it. Like, it gets threatening. It's just super red flaggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Uh,
bad.
it
I
was
was
bad.
shooketh.
Yeah, it was bad. I couldn't believe how many like red flag behaviors were coming up from a single person in a week of filming. Um, but
Yeah, it was like Alyssa from Maths vibes. It was like boom,
right.
boom, boom.
But it made sense because there were so many opportunities for Vanessa to kind of put on whatever character of herself that comes alive when she is like
In front of
like
whoever.
in front of whoever, literally, like
Yeah.
the opportunity to be validated through dating, the opportunity to have her like ego stroked, the opportunity to uh, engage in a weird power differential with her partner. Like there were just so many opportunities to show some of her suspicious and I'm not being dramatic when I say manipulative behaviors.
Yeah.
Like there were so many opportunities, so we just like got the opportunity to see a lot of it happening. Um, and what has been really interesting to me is to be able to see how other people are like receiving Vanessa, because not everyone's receiving
Mm.
Vanessa the way that like Ray is receiving Vanessa right now, or the way that Xander experiences Vanessa. That was also really interesting because we see Vanessa like piss off some people like Yoli. Yoli's like, I don't fuck with that girl. And
Yeah.
Lexi initially is like, this is interesting. We're vibing. We're flirting. Uh-oh. I see that you are not here for the things that I'm here for. I am too in touch with my own intuition and my own value and my own desires in my life to be able to ignore that this person is going to blow up my life in either this way directly or with my partner who I risked putting in this position. And so all of a sudden, Lexi's like, I've got clarity on this bitch. And
Yeah.
then we see Ray, who is still sort of enticed. Ray is still sort of cast under Vanessa's like flirtation glow.
Spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Xander
Flirtation
is
glove.
is the person who has been protecting
Abused emotionally
literally.
by this
Yeah.
bitch and now has Stockholm syndrome, so that when bitches start calling her out and they're like, clap, clap, Vanessa, you're a little, we all see what you're doing. Xander is like, guys, I don't want you to jump to my, like, being so cute and meek. She's like, I don't want you to jump to my defense. I'm the only one
Right.
that understands her. And it's like,
That's
Xander,
a
no,
problem.
baby.
That's a
Yeah, like,
problem. The fact that
no.
you are so familiar with the fact that you are typically the only person that understands your partner and that she rubs everyone else the wrong way is a pretty good indicator
Huge
that something's
neon
wrong
red flag.
here.
Yeah.
Neon red. Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
so funny. Neon red
Right?
flag.
It's true
Totally.
though. Yeah. I also didn't care for I mean, like, Vanessa's very into herself. We have clips of her being like telling Aussie, I'm an Instagram influencer. I get paid to make content. I'm famous." And it's just like, why? Like, why?
Yeah. What do you think is going
Yeah.
to happen with because Ray and Vanessa from two totally different tones both are like don't they're not giving stability. I can maybe Ray's giving a little bit of stability.
I think Ray's gonna pick to live with Vanessa for 3 weeks. I think she's
I
gonna choose
agree.
to shack up. I think
I
she's
agree.
too enticed by the Vanessa glow. What did you call it? Flirtation glow?
Her flirtation glow.
The love bombing.
Yeah, her like love mist.
It's
It's
real
like just
nasty.
spread.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nasty.
Okay, do you want to make predictions of who's gonna pair with who?
I guess we can make predictions. I kind of just want to make hopes.
Oh, okay. You want to make a wish?
I want to make many wishes.
Okay, what's your
Yeah,
wish? What are your hopes?
I wish for Vanessa to leave single as a Pringle with everyone knowing who she really is.
Yeah.
I hope um I honestly think Mal and Lexi would be a dope ass couple better than Mal and Yoli. So I hope that they work out. I think Yoli and Xander would be a better match. I don't know what it is about them that I like
Mm.
so much, but I do. At first, I wasn't about it. I thought Yoli was just like receiving because she didn't want to be the only one that didn't connect with someone. But then on the second date they went on during the day, I felt like more intimacy came from them. What? Yeah?
Yes.
You agree?
Yes.
Okay.
And it sort of counters this weird thing that Vanessa said about Xander. Sorry. Vanessa was like so excited. Vanessa
Loud
was like
noises.
Vanessa was like, um, Xander would be asexual without me, which that's
Yeah,
not
that was fucked
actually,
up. That's not
that's not
true.
how asexuality works, for one. And
No.
for
What the
two,
fuck?
like your partner who you think is asexual is fully coming on to Yoli saying, you're gonna have to set the pace with me. Basically,
Yeah.
what
Because
Xander was
I'm
saying
ready
is
to
like,
fuck all the
yeah,
time.
I'm gonna try stuff and you're gonna have to tell me when to stop, boo. You know what I
Ah!
mean? Like
Fuck yeah.
that is so like Vanessa
Lies.
clearly,
Deceit.
Vanessa sees herself higher than her partner.
Yeah.
That's very clear.
Contemptuous. Okay.
And it seems very important to her that she continues to see herself that way because what I believe is that she's a deeply insecure person. And if she
Agreed.
does not feel positioned higher than her partner or positioned higher than any other romantic option
Person.
amongst these people, then her
Yeah.
entire perception of self is going to crumble and she won't have any ground to stand on.
And you want to know what we call that?
What do we call it?
Narcissism.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, but
Narcissism is the
yeah.
word of our podcast.
No. No, look, I mean,
Sometimes.
like, I know someone out there, like, straight up called her that on this show, but, you know, that is what the
Right.
personality disorder avoids. They avoid feeling shame and less than, and so they do anything that they can do to make themselves not feel that way, no matter who they have to hurt and put down to make it that way, you know?
Right.
And we're seeing that with her, and so, you know, it's just like, I look, the practitioner side of me is like, I hope Vanessa sees the light somehow through the show and is like, oh my god, look at how I'm creating my own suffering here. But I don't think that's gonna happen,
Yeah.
just based off of what we've been seeing and how she's been playing her chess pieces. But yeah, those are my hopes and wishes. I also hope that Tiff and Mildred break up. They shouldn't be together.
I
I
hope
hope
that they,
that Aussie
maybe
and
what they'll
Sam get
do, maybe
married.
what they'll do is, I know, I hope that Sam and Aussie just leave the show right now, although I would miss them. I
Yeah.
hope that they get married and take off. I hope that Mal picks Lexi. Lexi picks Mal. I hope that, well, we know that Yoli and Xander pick each
Pick each
other.
other.
And then that leaves Ray and Vanessa will pick each other. And I hope that Mildred and Tiff decide to split here and just separate. But I do, again, I want them to make sure that they split with very clear boundaries. I think a couple that continues to find themselves reconnecting because of their sexual relationship is it's just going to prolong the thing that needs to happen, which is for you to
It's a
take some
band-aid.
actual space.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I I
Sex
agree.
is great, doesn't fix a relationship.
Yeah, it's great in a good relationship and it is toxic in a bad one.
Exactly.
I agree with you about Yoli and Xander. I didn't see the match at first, but actually, when I started to buy in, I mean, I saw that they had a vibe that second date that you were talking about. But when I started to buy in is when they were talking at that big table, the choice night, where Yoli was like, I tend to find myself drawn to people with big hearts. Xander has a big heart, and I find myself very protective over people with big hearts. And I think that that is very active in Yoli right now, as Yoli is aware that Xander is partnered with Vanessa in life. And I think Yoli is like, wait, Xander is a good person. I want to protect them. And I could, if they build a real romantic connection, they could actually be a good partner for each other because Xander is going to continue to be this vulnerable, bleeding heart type of person, which if taken care of by themselves and cared for by their partner can continue to be a really beautiful
Beautiful.
and
Yeah.
vulnerable space. And I think Yoli could do that for Xander, and that can be a really nice pairing. It's like this one partner says like, don't don't hurt them. I love them. They're good and they are pure. Don't touch them like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Xander gets to continue to be who they are. But
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know. I don't see like the zest yet.
Oh, you're looking for more zest. Yeah, it's definitely a slow burn.
I just can't
Definitely a slow
imagine
burn.
being with Mal and then choosing someone else, if I'm honest. I
For
can't imagine
real.
it. I'm really like, I'm sick. I'm sick
I
for
just
them.
feel like what's great about Mal, well, Yoli, yeah, I know. But I just like Mal even says to Yoli, I thought Xander was your type. Like that was my insecurity. Like you
Mm-hmm,
have dated white women in the past. So like it might be just like a better fit for them for whatever reason, you know?
mm-hmm.
But what I think like Mal gives Lexi that Ray couldn't give Lexi is that like you were saying before, like you deserve this. Like Mal has like big provider, protector, like let me take care of you energy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was like what Ray was trying to describe with like her bottle analogy.
Mm-hmm.
Um and so yeah, but that's what it is. It's like I don't feel like I'm enough to like meet that for you or like be that for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like I really feel like Mal and Lexi would be a dope pairing, and I do feel like Lexi and Yoli have the ingredients to potentially make something pretty dope too.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Yoli and Xander. What
Mm-hmm.
did I say? Not that.
I don't
Did I say that?
remember.
Okay. Anyway, let's talk about what we're ditching.
Oh, ooh.
We're ditching if you are the only one protecting your partner in a sea of human beings who are like, that's not okay, that's disrespectful. We're gonna get curious instead of just jumping to their defense. We're ditching jumping to their defense and we're embracing getting curious and listening.
It feels like that's something that Xander has been probably kind of media trained by Vanessa on a lot. Sort of like, you're not going to come to my defense in these situations. And I think that Xander knew exactly what to do in a setting like that because I'm sure that they've been in that position many times with their partner, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're definitely ditching that. We're basically ditching having a monogamous, committed relationship with anyone that is exhibiting any of Vanessa's behaviors at all, point blank, period, period, period.
Yeah, just run away.
But we're also ditching a relationship cycle that is only ever like conflict cycle that's only ever repaired through sex and intimacy and not actually repaired through conscious relationship conversations.
Which is going to be our reality TV show that we eventually create. Yeah.
CRC.
Agreed. CRC, bitches. Get ready for it.
CRC brought to you by
2026.
DTS.
Yeah. Great. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this week. If you liked us, leave us a rating and review. Make sure you screenshot it, share it to your IG story, and tag us at Ditch the Script Pod on the gram. And if you're not following us there yet, make sure you give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok. Again, our handle is at Ditch the Script Pod. And if you got any questions you want us to answer, head to our website, ditchthescriptpod.com. The end. Love you long time. See you later.
Just jazzercising over here. Okay.
You do that. You jazzercise.
Bye.
Happy Memorial Day.
Happy
Okay.
Memorial Day.